What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? The biggest questions of all. The questions that have dogged the greatest minds for centuries. It makes me look up to the heavens in awe at our vast, magnificent universe and wonder at the possibilities of what life is all about. Join me on a journey to understand more about who we are, why we're here, and to discover more happiness, meaning, and purpose. Mindfulness means bringing our awareness to the present moment without judgment. Being aware of our thoughts and feelings, even the sensations in our body, but without getting involved with them. This helps to calm the water and remove bits of dirt from the bowl. The inner peace which results is the stepping stone to blue. These are the moments, the glimpses in life, when we are truly alive. Now, there are three main aspects to mindfulness: mindful meditation, mindful moments, and mindful activity. We've already covered meditation, so let's look at mindful moments. Remember I asked the question, who are you? Are we our turbulent thoughts in the mind, the water in the bowl? Now, a lot of the time, it can feel like that's who we really are, a constant stream of thoughts. I then asked you to close your eyes and become aware of your thoughts. Now, some people, just within a few minutes, experience themselves as the observer or the witness of their thoughts. This is what we call self-awareness or mindfulness, where you're the witness of your thoughts, observe your thoughts without judgment, rather than actually being your thoughts. Initially, we observe our thoughts using our intellects without judgment and with compassion. Over time, with committed practice, we gradually associate more with the witnessing awareness, the beingness, the space within which thoughts actually occur, the space which encompasses the entire diagram. That eventually connects you to your deepest nature. This is mindfulness. That sunlight, the one consciousness, it is ever present to heal us. It loves us deeply. Yet we have closed the window. Mindful meditation, mindful moments, and mindful activity are our self-effort. Our self-effort is opening the window so the light of consciousness can flood into our being. This is reconnecting to the source. We are normally so caught up in the actions of the outer world, doing things, that we don't take a moment to just go inside, to go into our inner world and just be. We are human beings, not human doings. You are a human, comma, being. Just being. Here is a list of words to describe each of the two identities that we have during the day: human being and human doing. Let's experience beingness right now. Let's have a look at this flower, again without judgment. This time, let's breathe slowly and deeply as we look at the flower and really connect with the flower. Be as open as you can be. Feel your stomach going out as you breathe in and your stomach contracting as you breathe out. Maintain a gentle awareness of your breath as you look at the flower. And just be aware of what is happening within you as you go through this process. If your mind starts thinking or wandering, gently bring your attention back to your breathing and the flower. What are you experiencing? In my workshops, people report a sense of presence, stillness, connection. It feels like they are not just a person looking at a flower anymore, but the thoughts seem to temporarily drift into the background and they feel a sense of stillness, beingness. Some feel a connection with the flower itself. They feel like they are melding into the oneness. This is the U for unity, a sense of belongingness. These experiences are glimpses of our inner stillness. In this state, we are able to connect with more subtle feelings of peace, love, and unity. If you have a particular religious or spiritual belief, you can connect with that. Being in nature is a catalyst for this. So see how much more time you can spend looking at nature. It's like learning to drive a car. Initially, you may have to practice being mindful, like practicing driving. There is an effort involved. But eventually, it will become effortless. It will become your nature to just live in a sense of mindfulness, where your mind is in fullness. It is continually fulfilled. So what does this practically mean? How can we practice mindfulness? Here are a few techniques that you can practice. And you can use these techniques for no particular reason, or when you recognize that your mind has got lost in a train of thought. Maybe the mind is thinking about the past or the future. it helps bring your mind back to the present moment, which is the only place where you can glimpse your blueness. We had mentioned 3 ways of practicing mindfulness. The first is regular meditation, which we've already covered. The second way is mindful moments, which can take around 20 to 30 seconds, that's all. Let's practice that now. So let's gently close our eyes and let's become mindful by taking a slow, deep breath in from the stomach and then breathing out slowly and feeling centered. Without judgment, feel your feet on the floor and then feel your whole body like it's one continuous energy field, like a presence. Become aware of the feeling of just being alive, of existing. You may say, I am bliss, love, unity, and eternal existence, to become more aware of your existence. Just breathe slowly and deeply, aware of your body's energy field and your breath, enjoying the bliss of the stillness. Now gently open your eyes and look around the room you're in. Do you notice anything different? Do you notice anything different as a result of your mindful moment? Spend a moment maintaining your awareness as thoughts come and go. The next step of mindfulness is bringing it into our actions. Of course, we're not going to sit in a room staring at objects for the rest of our lives. Act we must. We can still continue with our tasks, but can we bring a sense of background stillness into whatever we're doing? Mindful activity is the third way of practicing mindfulness. Now, what normally happens when we do an action or a task? Usually we're doing the task, but our minds are elsewhere, sometimes worrying about the outcome of the task, or brooding over something we don't have, worrying, desiring, resisting, going into the past or the future. Instead, we can bring our minds into the present moment, putting 100% of the mind's attention to the task at hand. In fact, one of my great teachers once said, put your mind where your hands are. We can keep our mind on what we are doing as much as possible, training our minds to be in the moment, centered, dispassionate, without judgment. Now, this gentle awareness helps us to spot when we're getting agitated, when we're rushing, if we're brooding over something or something else which is agitating us. And immediately we can repeat the process of breathing in with a smile and becoming conscious of our deeper breathing. We can do this for 10 seconds or so. And then continue the slower, deeper breathing as you ease yourself back into the activity. Slow, deep breathing with awareness is the important thing here. Because as we said, breathing shifts our emotions. Enjoy the sublime relaxation of just flowing with the moment. As you practice these 3 types of mindfulness for 30 days, you'll notice that gradually you will naturally do things more mindfully. It's training your nervous system to be calm in action. This is the quickest and easiest way to be happy. Imagine what it could feel like to live more and more in this mindful state. Some people really find a sense of bliss overtaking them more and more as they practice. Others feel more at peace with the ups and downs of life. Others find their efficiency increases at work. Other people find that their anger dissipates. I cannot fully describe to you the incredible benefits of living mindfully. Let's practice mindful activity right now. I invite you to pause the video and go and make yourself a drink. But as you do so, see if you can maintain that deep breathing, that sense of mindfulness, and keep your mind where your hands are. Breathing slowly and deeply, and feeling a sense of stillness and presence within your body and around you. If your mind gets distracted, can you bring your mind back into your center? Connecting to a feeling of that inner stillness as much as you can. Then once you've done that, you can come back and continue the video. Now, how was that? How did that feel? Now, as you practice with this technique, you'll find that your mind will try and convince you that there's something that you need to think about or worry about. But as we know, that's all false marketing. If we need to think about something, we can make a deliberate decision to deal with it at some point later. But why should we allow the whims and fancies of our minds to take us away from our center all the time? I have a fantastic idea for practicing mindfulness. You can set an hourly chime on your tablet or smartphone. There are free apps available online. Just search for free hourly chime. Then set the hours when you want it to ring, and every hour you can take 30 seconds to close your eyes, feel the presence of your body with awareness on your breathing, and then simply say to yourself, I am pure awareness. I am bliss, love, unity, and eternal existence. I am the witnessing awareness. Now, normally, we don't like silence. We're addicted to our gadgets. If it's silent, we put the TV on or listen to the radio or music players. We think there is something wrong. As a civilization, we've become obsessed with technology and being entertained 24/7. But silence is the sweet symphony of the soul. In sacred moments, we can choose to be silent. Can we enjoy the silence and the stillness just for a few moments each day? That is what our soul really yearns for. To regularly connect with who you really are. This is when we are truly alive. The nature of our minds is to fear. to look at situations from a negative angle. And people say that 90% of our fears are completely baseless. They have no chance of happening. It's because our minds are powerful at imagining the worst. Fear is simply stories that we make up about the future. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We've made it all up in our own heads. Now, of course, caution is a normal emotion, a useful emotion. But the majority of our fears are over the top. Developing mindfulness means we can observe these fearful thoughts and emotions and put them in perspective. And we can then shift perspective rather than being overwhelmed by our fears. So next time we notice that we're worried or afraid, we can just take a slow, deep breath in and observe the fear within us. We can observe the thoughts and emotions, and we can observe the sensations within our bodies. Some people find it easy to just say, "Oh, that's just a small part of me that's afraid." By saying that, we label the core of what we're afraid of. This is real deep self-inquiry. And it's easier to let go of fear once we've listened to that core message. Another technique is simply to speak to that fear. Let's practice that tool right now. Let's close our eyes and take a slow, deep breath in and let go. Think of something that you're afraid of or worried about. Really connect with that fear or that worry and feel the sensations in your body wherever that worry is. Now take a slow, deep breath in and imagine breathing out the fearful part so that it's in front of you or sitting on a chair in front of you. Now imagine what the fear looks like in your mind. The fear might look like a childlike part of you, or the fear might have a particular shape or colour. Thank this fear for coming forward and speaking to you today. Now think about what the fear is worried about. And imagining it's like a child, speak lovingly and reassuringly to that part of you, just like you would soothe your own child or a niece or nephew. Spend a couple of moments now lovingly explaining to this part why it can reduce the fear or worry. Now, thank this part of you for coming forward and give it a big hug and soothe it and give it all your love. Now take a slow, deep breath in and breathe out. And gently open your eyes. How was that? This is healing your fears through self-love. I suggest practicing this technique whenever fears overwhelm you. This is healing all parts of ourselves with love, and it's a beautiful process. Mindfulness ultimately is training your intellect to become less reactive to emotionally charged thoughts. It's breaking the link between emotions and thoughts. This is the equivalent to your prefrontal cortex, so the front of your brain, gaining more control over the emotional thoughts triggered by the amygdala and other limbic brain structures. As you practice mindfulness, you train your intellect to become the observer. When neuroscientists have conducted brain experiments with regular meditators, they've found that their brains are less reactive to fearful stimuli. So as a tool, we can observe our thoughts and think, hey, it's only a thought. It's only an emotion. It doesn't need to affect me so much. We can label these thoughts as, oh, that's just a fearful part of me thinking such and such. We still own the thoughts rather than repressing them, but we're able to put them in perspective and not identify with them. So in summary, what we can do is to observe the thoughts and emotions in our minds and choose to remain centered in their presence. Alternatively, if we experience some uncomfortable emotions, we can use the surrendering technique or the soften and flow. Mindfulness is bringing your awareness to whatever is happening in the present moment without judgment. It's observing your mind during the day and being the witnessing awareness, rather than losing awareness in a train of thoughts. Practicing mindfulness eventually results in a meditative mind. Neuroscientists have shown that mindfulness literally rewires the brain and makes us less reactive and more happy. There are three main ways of practicing mindfulness. Firstly, mindful meditation. So meditating for 10 or 20 minutes in the morning before breakfast, and perhaps once again in the evening before dinner. Secondly, mindful moments. So reminding ourselves to be mindful during the day, perhaps with the support of the Hourly Chime app. And thirdly, mindful activity. Being in the action in the present moment, rather than worrying about the result. For example, can we eat mindfully, really tasting every morsel in the present moment? When fear arises within us, we can observe our dear, beloved minds with compassion and speak to the parts of us that are afraid. And with that space and awareness, we can let go of fears that come in and out of our minds like waves on the vast, still ocean.